I became a neo-Nazi skinhead when I was 16 years old.
My parents met in one of the camps. I was just interested in what got you into this.
I was a full-blown alcoholic, and hate was just another part of this rush.
Were you part of a group, or were you isolated?
I was exposed to white nationalist ideology through neo-Nazi skinhead music. So I got some other friends of mine, and we started our own white power band. And this band was like a magnet for every angry white kid in Wisconsin. What attracted me most to the swastika was that it was so offensive to civil society.
What did the group do besides music?
We would go out on the streets and just attack people at random. We would attack anyone who didn't look like us. A big factor in me getting out of the movement, as we called it, was the light that Jewish people shine upon the world. I dropped out of high school, and my mom's like, you need to get a job. She had a high school friend named Jack Cooper. She asked him to give me a job, and he did. And I would show up to work with swastikas on my jacket. I later had swastika tattoos. I was very outspoken about my racism and anti-Semitism. So it got back to her what I was doing. And she called up Jack in tears, humiliated by her son, to tell Jack it was okay to fire me. Because Jack was Jewish, and he had lost family in the Holocaust. And rather than fire me, Jack said, he's a good kid. He's just going through a phase. The kindness that Jack showed me always stayed with me. Fighting anti-Semitism is a personal mission for me because I feel I owe it. I owe it to the Jewish community, and I owe it to you.
Thank you.
Always. I appreciate you listening to my story, Rose. It's really healing for me to share it, and especially for you to listen to it, because I understand you have a pretty amazing story yourself.
Well, I'm a very young child survivor, so when the Nazis invaded Poland in 1939, no one knew that it would get to where the point that it got to. My father and his brother ran east towards Russia. What people don't know is that the Russians picked up the Jews that they had there, and they put them on cattle trains and sent them up to the Gulag of Siberia.
So all the refugees were Jews?
All the refugees were Jews. My parents met up in one of the camps. There was no other babies being born there because the amount of food was nil.
Right.
So I was called the miracle baby.
Wow.
My mother found clothes from anyone that had died, sewed it together and made diapers for me. And as luck would have it, the war ends. We make our way back to Poland. You couldn't live in Poland. The Polish people went into the Jewish homes and took over, and it was dangerous. So who were you? Homeless, no family. The doors to countries were still not open. People were not welcoming you. It took 3 years. We finally got to the United States. I started school, and the kids were told by their parents, there's a girl who went into the camps, who was from the camps. Do not go near her. I started to learn English a little bit, and I was so excited. I raised my hand and I answered a question, and the kids laughed so loud that their laughter I'm 81 years old, the laughter still rings in my ears. That's how loud they laughed. And I swore I would never speak again in class. I finished elementary school, high school, and 4 years of college, and I never raised my hand again. So I turned inward until I went on a trip on the March of the Living. Here I was supposed to now share my stories, and I went back to Poland. I wanted to see what happened to my grandparents. And I was standing in Auschwitz by the crematoria, and I heard my grandmother speak to me. I heard her voice, and she said to me, be my voice. I don't have a voice anymore. Tell everyone that you meet what happened to me and the 2 little kids. You see this oven? I was burned here. When I left there and I came back, I went over to the rabbi of the temple and I said, can you gather all the children in the school? And there were over 500. I said, I'm going to talk.
Wow.
Because I had her voice. And that was the first time I was able to share my story.
I was at Auschwitz myself. It changes you. There's a big room and it's just piles and piles of eyeglasses.
Yes.
I wear glasses myself, and seeing this pile of eyeglasses, I remembered the time when my parents realized I first needed glasses. And seeing this pile of glasses, it struck me that every single one of them had some kind of story where a parent realized that their child wasn't seeing well enough. They took them to get an eye exam, took them to get glasses, every pair. And there were thousands and thousands of glasses in a big pile. It connected me to what happened there, and realizing that every person who perished was a unique individual with a story of their life, like the story that I'm so honored you shared with me. And people need to know that. The world needs to know that.
My mother always said, just wait, Rose, it's going to happen in this country. And I go, you'll never have Nazis in this country. It'll never happen. And yet,
I had a message on Instagram the other day from some kid going, Jews are this and Jews are that. And I said, how many Jews do you know? And he says, none. And I tell anti-Semites, really with the intention, I want them to have the joy of having Jewish friends. Jewish people have done so much for society and have always been at the forefront fighting for everyone's freedom and everyone's rights. As a human race, we should all be grateful for the Jewish community and doing everything we can to create a society where they're welcome and they're celebrated.
well, I'm thrilled to have met you. I had my reservations about how I would deal with what your thoughts were, but it just was eye-opening for me, and so I'm counting on you.
I got you, Rose. I'm here for you. I'm not going to let you down. It was such an honor to meet you, and I feel so privileged to be able to share my story with you and to hear your story. And I just want you to know that going forward in my life, I'm going to be doing everything I can to get the general populace to understand how lucky we are to have Jews in our society and make the world a better place for everybody.